Now, before I start answering these questions, I just want to say that I don't want to make homosexuality an issue, but it already is an issue. Not because it's worse than other sins, but because in today's society, it's supposed to be socially acceptable. I mean, it's the only sin where you're supposed to be open to. And yes, we're all supposed to be against all sins, whether it's pornography, theft, or murder, but the world already looks down on cheaters. And although lots of people get drunk, society still frowns upon it. 1 Corinthians 6:9 speaks against adultery. And although adultery is rampant in America, nobody is trying to make it socially acceptable. And that's why homosexuality is an issue. It's the only sin that's not recognized as sin. But on the other hand, we don't want to demonize homosexuality like it's worse than other sins. Yes, some sins are worse than others. Murder is worse than hate. Adultery is worse than lust. But Jesus and the book of James say that sin is sin. Homosexuality is sin, but no worse than lying, cheating, drug addiction, pride. Some churches and some Christians spend more energy fighting against homosexuality than adultery, than pride, than drug addiction, drunkenness, pornography, when these things are actually hurting the church more. So how do we as Christians respond to homosexuals? Okay, if a guy was born with a genetic or physical disorder, do you make him feel bad about it? Do you persecute the alcoholic because he won't quit driving drunk? But it seems like Christians want to persecute homosexuals. Well, do you think they chose to become homosexuals? Do you think it was their choice? Instead of demonizing the alcoholic, we have to help him, show compassion. We don't tell the alcoholic he can't come to church. But we do tell the alcoholic, yeah, alcoholism is bad. Hey, let me help you. Yes, you can join me at church. Yes, show compassion, not judgment. I know, it still sounds bad because you're basically saying that a part of their identity is in need of help. But you know what? So is mine. I may not be a homosexual, but there are parts of my very own identity that needs the redeeming power of God. Yes, God condemns all sin, lust, lying, homosexuality, drunkenness, pride. But you know what? God offers grace to all sinners, and no one's better or worse. So what's my point? You can't treat homosexuals differently. What, do you ostracize the liar? Do you treat differently the guy who has a lot of pride or greed? Then why do you treat homosexuals as if it's the worst possible sin? What, you're not a sinner? Jesus said, "He who is without sin may cast the first stone." You get my point? I'm not saying tolerate sin. I'm just saying homosexuality is just one of many sins that mankind struggle with, whether it's lying or greed or pride or drunkenness. Homosexuality is just one of them.